From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
Dennis's Heating and Air Conditioning is Northern California's premier heating and air conditioning contractor. From residential housing, large commercial projects, installation to repair, sheet metal fabrication, and everything in between, we are your go-to heating and air conditioning specialist.
Well, welcome to Weather NorCal. If you're here for the first time, I want to remind you that this is a service that is ongoing. It's 24/7. Go to weathernorcal.com to get the latest there. And of course, we've also got YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com at Weather NorCal. You can also check out the 24-hour streaming channel that is hyperlocal for Northern California. Check it out. You can get it on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and soon coming to Apple TV. And if you happen to have a Android device or an Apple device, you're in good shape because there is a free app for everyone, Weather NorCal. Be sure to check that out. Take a look at what we've got going on right now. Of course, we've got those clear skies out there, and taking a look at the overall trend here, we have a cooling trend, and this will probably peak on Wednesday. After that, temperatures will start to increase again, but it's beginning to look like once we get those temperatures back up over 100, they're going to stay there for a while, and we'll get into that a little bit later. Still monitoring the potential for mountain thunderstorms here over the weekend. Getting a little bit more consistency and a little bit more idea of when we can expect some of those thunderstorms to kind of move on in. But looking at your forecast for the valley today, temperatures somewhere in the low to mid 90s. So yes, we've broken away from those triple digits here, and I expect to stay below 100 degrees here, at least for the next couple of days. When you look at the planner for the mountains, those temperatures mid to upper 80s, and of course for the eastern mountains, upper 80s, maybe some 90-degree readings in there today. Places like Susanville with a high of about 90, but 84 for Paradise. Looking at that fire potential, good news, we're seeing in that low risk. Typically, this time of the year, we don't see it get lower than the yellow. Green is going to be the best case scenario where you have little to no risk. This time of the year, it's really difficult for anywhere outside of the coast to get within that category, but at least we're in the yellow. And that means conditions are certainly more favorable. Now, here's the thing. You may have noticed it's a little breezy out there, especially as we go into this afternoon, but those are breezy south winds. Those typically aren't as much of a danger to us as opposed to those north winds. We have a north wind. Number one, it dries things out even more, and that, of course, can increase the fire danger. As we go to Wednesday, again, a little breezy in some spots here, but notice, again, they're mainly coming out of the south with those winds. So that's kind of the key here. It's also one of the contributing factors of the cooler temperatures we're going to be looking at as well. All right, so look at this, the 10-day trend. So you'll notice again, just like last week, temperatures dropping on Wednesday. That's the peak of the cooling trend. And then for the rest of the week, still below 100. But by Saturday, we're back up to 100 and back up over 100 degrees by Sunday. And it looks like extending on beyond that through next week, we'll probably keep it somewhere between 104 and 106 through next week. So kind of an extended heat wave, but 104, 105, 106, not as bad as we can typically see around here during these bigger heat waves. All right, so a couple of things that I'm monitoring. Number one is this area of low pressure right here. It's got cooler air associated with it. That is moving through the Pacific Northwest. That's a contributing factor to our cooler temperatures. But it's not just the cooler temperature that I have my eyes on, but it's some moisture down to the south. We have some kind of a mixture of some monsoon moisture and subtropical moisture coming in as well. That'll be moving into Southern California later this week. So places like Bakersfield, Fresno could be looking at the potential for some thunderstorms come Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening. That moisture right here is going to be migrating northward by the end of this week for us, especially by the weekend. And what I'm seeing here is you'll see a few pop-ups here and there. Beginning to see kind of going back and forth on just how far west it goes, but now it's indicating that places like Humboldt County, eastern Delaware County, pretty much everywhere in the mountains, a chance for some of those showers and thunderstorms. That'll probably continue on into your Sunday. As we go into Monday of next week, you'll see it's kind of backing off, but still maybe a chance going into early next week. Before Tuesday of next week, it should be gone. Maybe a few clouds, but it's starting to see the chances for thunderstorms by around Tuesday, Wednesday of next week to move on out. All right, so let's talk about today. No showers, no thunderstorms, but temperatures are dropping. We're down to 95 for Redding and in the low 90s as you head south of that, and of course in the 80s for most of us in the higher elevations today. Looking at your 7-day outlook, there it is. And you can see, of course, once again, this is what I've been talking about the last few days. I have not included the chance for thunderstorms just yet in the mountains. But stay tuned, because there's a very good chance that later this evening and into tomorrow, I'll start introducing and putting in those thunderstorms here in the forecast. But just be aware that that's the potential here as we go into the weekend. Let's take a look at your 7-day outlook for the valley. There's the peak of that cooling trend down to 90. I think struggling to get out of the 80s for Red Bluff and Chico, around 90. But then temperatures will start to increase after that. Looks like we'll be back up to about 100 degrees for Redding by Saturday, and over 100 degrees for everyone in the valley by Sunday and Monday.